Hello everybody, and welcome to another Amonkhet Remastered draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or feedback. Click that bell as well so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to catch me streaming live, you can find me at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Okie doke. Lots of great cards right off the bat. Not Shadow of the Grave, though. This one's more of a constructed card. There was actually a really sweet combo deck I used to play, built around this card and a New Horizons. Maybe it'll make a resurgence. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it'll make a resurgence now that these cards are on Arena. But that could be... that's a day for a constructed. In the uncommon slot, Amonkhet's Monument is absolutely fantastic. Just a complete beating. You don't even need to be a white deck for this card to be good, though it does obviously do its best in a white deck, because the making creatures cost less is nice. But just making an extra 1/1 every time you cast a creature is so good on turn 3 that it's usually worth an early pick. There's also Deem Worthy, which can be nice, but I think it's definitely worse than Amonkhet's Monument. Sure, if you kill a 2 toughness creature, you get a 2-for-1, but it still costs 4 mana to do that, so like you're killing their 2-drop a lot of the time with that. And it's like a great card, don't get me wrong, but this card can like completely win you a game, whereas this card is just going to be solid. And then in the common section, I think Hooded Brawler is the best common by a pretty wide margin. Ritualist is also pretty good. But we're just going to start with the Monument. Ooh. Neheb the Worthy. Other Minotaurs get first strike. If you have 1 or fewer cards, then you get +2/+0. And when it deals combat damage, each player discards a card. So it's not that good, but it's kind of cute. I think it's not really worth taking, especially because I already have an Amonkhet's Monument. We're not going to be taking Chandra's Defeat. Defiant Great Maw. 2/1/1 counters. Okay, so yeah, this is part of like a -1/-1 counters synergy deck, which doesn't really come together all that often. Kenna Charioteer is a gold card, so I don't really want to take that here. I think I'm just going to take the Open Fire. It's just a very powerful card, a very flexible card. Like, sure, this is a 3-mana 4/5, but like you kind of have to put... It's like acts more like a 3-mana 2/3, and you have to like... It doesn't really do a ton of stuff on its own. Whereas Open Fire is always great. And the Naga Vitalist might even be my second pick, even though that card's not really good in the same like beatdown decks that maybe Amonkhet's Monument is as good in. But I like Open Fire a lot in this pack. I think it's the best card, and it's just like very solid. So red-white is looking like a good spot to end up in. Though, that being said, we did just see a pack with we are seeing a pack with a ton of great blue cards. So even though we talk a great like white card to start off with, we could end up transitioning to blue-red fairly easily. Spellweaver Eternal can be a very potent threat in your blue-red decks. You do want to make sure you get enough 2-drops. There's also Trial of Knowledge, and cartouches are not as hard to come by in this format because you have 3 packs to open them. So Trial of Knowledge could be good. We could also just like stay open, take a Scavenger or a Firebrand Archer. But with this many blue cards, I'm inclined to take one. I think Trial might be a little bit too slow. This is a really tricky pick. Battlefield Scavenger does work well if we do have some Exert synergies going. I kind of want to just take Battlefield Scavenger and let the blue cards flow. We could totally get some later, too. Like, we're not missing out on all that much. Trial is just a bit clunky. Firebrand Archer can be really good in blue-red. But Battlefield Scavenger is a pretty nice 2-drop for any red-white shenanigans we end up in. Now we get a Fervent Paincaster. Nice synergy with Battlefield Scavenger. You don't have to exert the Scavenger to get the trigger. So it works really well with things like Gustwalker, any green exert creatures. You just get to churn through your deck really nicely. And now we get kind of rewarded because we didn't take a blue card, and there's no good blue cards in this pack. Whereas sticking to one color with the Battlefield Scavenger pickup is just going to work out really nicely. Paincaster's nice. Not only do you always get in damage with it, but pinging down creatures is definitely a reasonable thing to do as well. After this, I would probably take like the Moloch. I'd consider that at least, or the Shelter Thicket in case I wanted to go into green, but probably just take Moloch. Okie doke. So we're seeing Sunset Pyramid, which is a nice little, like, just value engine. But we're not really in the value engine space right now. I think we're just going to keep taking red cards. There's also Riverwinder, which can be really good in blue decks. Shimmerscale Drake, which can be solid in blue decks as well. There's a couple of Deserts, which are both quite nice. We have been seeing some black cards, like Soul Stinger is pretty solid, Desert's pretty solid. But I think we're just going to keep taking red cards. One of the things about this approach that I'm using right now is we're going to get a lot of red cards back too, because we just haven't passed any good ones. Like, wow, another Amonkhet's Monument. That's way too late to see Amonkhet's Monument. Just saying. It is legendary, so the second copy is significantly worse than the first. Because sure, it's a great card, but there are going to be games of limited where you draw both, and when you draw both in your opening hand, you get kind of owned. We do have this Battlefield Scavenger to potentially mitigate some of that because we can discard it. But we don't really even know that if we're playing a Catcher's Monument deck. We see a Desert of the True, which is nice, but we're just going to keep taking red cards here. Keep cutting off red completely. Red seems fairly open. Incredibly late struggle to survive. I think this card is going to maybe be undervalued just because it has so much text on it. But basically, 3 mana, deal 3, or 3 mana, but it scales as the game goes on. So it's like a 3 mana, deal 6 in the late game, which is just super good. There's still a ton of red cards, so red is definitely looking wildly open. Magmaroth can be okay, Gilded Ceradon's good, and Firebrand Archer, if you have some deserts, and Firebrand Archer number 2 would not be bad, but we're just clearly going to take the high power level removal spell in Struggle to Survive. And now we'll take, it's close here, because Oasis Ritualist is probably the highest upside card, because we do have the tools to potentially just be like a red-green mid-rangey deck that could potentially like go up to the top of the curve or splash blue. We could also just take like an Avian Initiate and speculate on blue because blue has seemed decently open. Blue-red doesn't generally care about Avian Initiate as much, but it can still just be a solid card. I think we'll take the Ritualist though. I think it's the best card in the pack by a pretty decent margin. And now another Ritualist, maybe setting myself up for some shenanigans here. Nimbleblade Kenra is a red card, but not one I'm super excited to play. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs can also be good, but we don't have any deserts yet, and getting a second Ritualist is really setting ourselves up for some stuff. I like it. And now Kenra Charioteer coming back is a nice little wheel, because it looks like we're playing red-green at this time. Catcher's Monument does get a lot worse if we aren't playing specifically a white deck, but still there's a Zealot of the Godfair, which is a solid card. We're seeing all red and green cards here. Firebrand Archer came back. I like it. Aerial Guide also came back. There's also a Evolving Wilds, but I think we currently have like 2 game plans. We could be a Firebrand Archer, like blue-red deck potentially. We have a decent amount of like pinging, and then Evolving Wilds would be nice for splashing around with Oasis Ritualist. But I think we're just going to keep taking the red and green aggressive cards. Ooh, Striped Riverwinder could be okay. Last pick, Desert of the True, eh? People are really not valuing those at all, which is kind of bizarre. So right now, it's funny because I think the Shed Weakness is actually really good with double Firebrand Archer. But we don't really have a great Ritualist deck. It's really good with Sandworms to like ramp into. We have been seeing some nice wheels on like really late Ritualists, and it's not even that good in our deck right now, so I think I'm just going to take the Kenra Scrapper, because it does seem like that card is going to fit our game plan a lot better at the moment. We're seeing some blue cards here. Failure to Comply is not a good card. I'll Catcher's Attendant. I mean, start to finish is good, but we're playing red for sure, so we're going to try to bias ourselves towards those decks. Catcher's Attendant can be good. Ritualist is okay. We're just going to take the Kenra Scrapper, though. Do I know anyone in my pod? Let's see. I do not. Okie doke. Here there is... there's no red cards, so that is immediately out. The only green cards are Chef and Monitor and Ritualist. I think Ritualist might be better for the types of decks that want it. There's also Compulsory Rest. How many cards of each color do we have? We did not see any good white cards themselves in the first pack, so I don't think we're going to move into white here. We did see a lot of good blue cards in the first pack, though. So maybe we take Hieroglyphic Illumination. This card can be pretty solid. Shimmer Scale Drake. Hazard's Monument is just not a good card, though. We could take another Ritualist, but I don't even think we're doing anything like shenanigans-wise with our Ritualists. Maybe we just take a blue card. We'll take the Illumination. Maybe we'll want some blue-red spells action going on. Some good green-white cards, but we're not going green-white. We're just going to take the Nefcrop Entangler, I think, over another Puncturing Blow. We could take a Hope Tender, but again, we're not really ramping. We're not doing any shenanigans up at the top of the curve. I think Oasis Ritualist decks really thrive when you see a bunch of like really powerful rares, and we just aren't seeing them. We'll take the Nefcrop over the Puncturing Blow, though. We want to make sure we have enough aggressive 2-drops. The reason blue-red would be a nice pairing is because Firebrand Archer generally works well with all the spells that blue-red pumps out. Monument probably not making it right now. A Braid, fantastic addition. Just a good removal spell that can sometimes trigger my Firebrand Archers or kill a No Catcher's Monument or something like that. After that, I think I would take the Initiate or the Zealot. They both seem okay. Again, we're just sticking to red cards here. Vile Manifestation can be good in the blue-black cycling deck. Countervailing Winds is better than it looks, but this is a pretty easy Abrade, followed by a Pathmaker. The Ritualists are really not looking great in this deck. I think Ritualist has gone down a little bit in my pick order, because it just... I haven't really found a lot of the crazy, like, 5-color decks to be something I'm doing a lot that often. Hour of Revelation can be okay, but it's not a card I'm super excited to play. There is a Cartouche of Solidarity. There's also a blue Cycling Land and a Evolving Wilds. We'll probably just take the blue Cycling Land. We could end up with some cards that care about deserts. We already have a blue card here, and I don't think we want Pursue Glory. Evolving Wilds is also kind of cute with the Ritualists for splashing, but like, what are we even splashing here? Like a black removal spell, like a Final Death or something? We just don't have the card that we care about splashing. So like, when you don't have a card that you care about splashing, prioritizing the fixing as if you were splashing it, it doesn't really make sense. Here I think Pathmaker Initiate is just another good 2-drop. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4 good 2-drops. Getting one Pathmaker Initiate really gives you a nice little oomph in the late game. Spring to Mind is okay sometimes. Floodwaters can be okay sometimes. This is a good card, but we're not playing white. Tormenting Voice can also be okay, but we're just going to keep taking good red aggressive creatures. Tormenting Voice or Heckma Sentinels. Heckma could be okay. I think blue-red was the most open pack one. So I think we're going to be fine just taking like Heckma Sentinels over Desert Ceradon. I don't love this Ceradon. Tormenting Voice is also sometimes okay, especially when you have enough Firebrand Archers to just ping, 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 ping. We'll probably wheel one of those maybe. Or we might wheel one of those. And now another Cycling Land. Makes the Heckma Sentinels that we already have a lot better. Late Ritualist, but I think that doesn't mean... That's not a green signal in the same way that it would have been in our Devastation, because people just don't use Ritualist for the mana very often. Like, we don't have any expensive cards here. So we'll just take a Desert. And now another Heckma Sentinels. There are Slitherblades wheeling, but Slitherblade isn't going to be good in our deck, because we don't have the early plays to make it good. Like, we don't have any ways to buff its power, first of all, but we also don't have, like, early islands in our deck, and Heckma Sentinels is just going to be a solid card. Hard to block, shall we say. Shimmer Scale or Unquenchable? I think Unquenchable is good when we have 2 deserts. I don't think we want the Monument. Shimmer Scale is also just rock solid, though. It also works well with the Heckmas, so maybe we just take the Shimmer Scale and just rely on red for removal. We do have a decent amount of red removal. Yeah, let's just take the Shimmer Scale Drake. It does work well with double Heckma Sentinels. Gilded Ceradon. We only have 2 deserts also for Unquenchable Thirst, and you really want like 3 or 4 before it's good. We're going to be the Heckma Sentinels deck. It looks great. Oh my gosh, we did it. We're a Heckma Sentinels deck. Oh my gosh, Tormenting Voice is actually so good. Wow, the combo! The combo! I love it. This is such a good pickup for our deck. Champion of Wits works super well with Heckma Sentinels. When you discard a card, it gets +1/+1. This is draw 2, discard 2. Heck yes. Magma Spray would obviously be great, because Magma Spray is just a house in this format, but I'm loving this Champion of Wits right now. Our deck is looking great. We have a lot of 3-drops, and a decent number of good 2-drops. Battlefield Scavenger is also a good combo with Heckma Sentinels. We're definitely going to get this Ceradon if it wheels and play it because of our Heckma Sentinels. I'm liking where we're at right now. I think we just have to take the Champion of Wits. It's just such a good card. And now Magma Spray pretty easily here. Sure, there's a Hieroglyphic Illumination and a Desert of the Mindful. And also a Gate to the Afterlife. More looting. But I think one of these cards might wheel. We already have 2 deserts. And just getting a really cheap removal spell is just so good. Like, Magma Spray is just top common. So pretty hyped to get that. Okie doke. This Heckma Sentinels is going to wheel. Lay Claim can be good, but it does get cycled a lot. That being said, Heckma Sentinels is going to wheel out of this pack. Having another cycler is good. We could take Blur of Blades, but I think we're just going to take the Lay Claim. Our deck could go to the late game pretty easily. We have good tools. We have good creatures. And, it cycles, so it's not the worst. And when we do take something, it's going to be great. Blur of Blades is also a good addition to this type of deck, putting a counter on one of their creatures. is just a good combat trick. We don't really want the Thresher Lizard. So let's just take the Lake Claim, though it is not as necessarily as devastating as it would look. Now, pretty easy compelling argument. It cycles, triggers our Heckma Sentinels. I don't think we want Thresher Lizard. If you look at our curve, we have 7 3-drops already, so anything that's a 3-drop has a really high bar. And Thresher Lizard is great when you end up running out of cards, which does happen a lot, but I think we'd rather just get the 1-mana Cycler. Okie doke. Let's just zoom back in here. Nefcrop Entangler is a great 2-drop. Very aggressive card. Seeker of Insight is good when you're casting non-creature spells, and then you can loot to trigger your Heckmas. Which is nice, don't get me wrong. But we'd rather just have the 2-mana 3/3 Trampler, I think. I think that's better than the Pathmaker Initiate. Essence Scatter's solid, but we just have a lot of good early red cards. So we're going to be able to bias our mana towards red, I think, which is going to be great. Like, we can probably go 10-7 in this deck pretty easily, and that makes it much nicer to not have any blue 2-drops if you can avoid it. I don't want a second Pathmaker Initiate either. And Seeker just doesn't attack as well. Our deck is looking great here. Absolutely fantastic. Got these 2 deserts here. Now there's another Pathmaker Initiate. Naga Oracle, no thank you. Yeah, there's nothing even close here. Shadowstorm Vizier, we could have had a, like, if we had a more black cycling cards that we cared about it, we would have a sweet black cycling deck, maybe. Shadowstorm Vizier does work well with the same cards that Heckma Sentinels works well with. Ooh, Enigma Drake. How many instants and sorcerers do we have? 9? That's probably good enough, right? What else are we taking here? Like Seeker of Insight, Kenra Scrapper, Desert Ceradon. I think we'll take the Enigma Drake. Seems good to me, and now an Evolving Wilds could help my mana. Wow, what a pack. We're not taking the Unquenchable Thirst because we don't have any, we just don't have the same amount of deserts that we would need to make it good. Essence Scatter could be okay with the Enigma Drake, but we're just going to take the Ceradon with all the stuff we have that cares about cycling. Another Desert of the Mindful is great. Fifth Heckma Sentinels or Floodwaters. I think we'll take the Floodwaters. Yeah, we'll take Heckma Sentinels. What the heck? Let's do it. Just all the Heckmas. Pathmaker, sure. Okay. So, what are we going to do here? First things first, I think we cut the Ceradon. Compelling Argument and Ceradon are both just for cycling, pretty much. Though we can cast the Ceradon. We have 9 instants and sorceries. Holy heck, my Batman. We can cut 2 Pathmaker Initiates. We have... Ooh, wait. Wow, Striped Riverwinder. I totally forgot we had that card. What the heck? That's so good in our deck. Oh my gosh. How could I forget I had a Striped Riverwinder just chilling in the sideboard? That's hilarious. Okay. So these are removal spells. This is just a great synergy piece with all my discard stuff. So these 4 are just big discard enablers. We have 7, 14. We have 15 lands here. So we're just going to add 2 so we don't forget that we need to have lands. We're going to run 17 lands because we do have 3 cycling lands. Even though we do have some cards that help us find more land drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops. Seems alright to me. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 3-drops. Yikes. So we have good removal though. So we have to cut 3 cards. No, 4 cards. 9, 16, 17. I don't think Oketch's Monument is as good in this deck. I could see cutting Enigma Drake. Kenra Scrapper's great. Maybe I do have to run fewer lands here. I could also see cutting like a Heckma Sentinels. And like a... Maybe with cards that I'm cycling way more often, I would... Oh, gosh. Two, three, four, five, six. I could see cutting Firebrand Archer, too. Cutting Heckmans feels bad, man. Because they're so good when you're cycling a bunch of cards. We're not cutting any of these removal spells, though. We're not cutting Champion of Wits. Paincaster's great. Kenra Scrapper versus Heckma Sentinels. Which one's better in my deck? It's still probably Kenra Scrapper. So maybe we can just cut a random cycler that we're never going to cast. A compelling argument. Because at least these other ones we can cast somewhat reasonably. That makes sense to me. And then we're not all in on the Heckma plan. Colors 15-8. Yeah, we want... So this gives me 10 red sources, 8 blue sources, but a lot of them come in tapped. Yeah, I think this deck is good. I think I want all my 2-drops. I think 1 Pathmaker initiates the sweet spot. 3 Heckmas is probably fine. I think Kenra's the only card I could consider cutting for a Heckma. And yeah, this seems pretty good to me. We have lots of good discard synergies. And yeah, I'm excited to try this one out, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, especially those who support me at the credits level. I really appreciate the support, and thank you so much for helping me continue to produce high quality content on a consistent basis. It really does help me out a ton, and if you'd like more information about what it means to become a patron and the cool rewards you get as my way of saying thank you, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. This is a pretty good hand here. We have our Evolving Wilds to get our Mountain so we can cast our spells. And then we go 2-drop and now into 3-drop with some removal. That was a good draw. Nefcrop Entangler is a great 2-drop. It can now attack past Feral Prowler. Yeah, Evolving Wild's doing work. Aggro, aggro, aggro. And then next turn we can go Firebrand Archer into a Braid on their Sidewinder Naga, or we can Puncturing Blow something big. But I think this is probably more likely. Thank you so much, Gross. I'm so glad to hear that. Red is a good color for sure. Got him. This is the first one, World Rock. We'll play our own flyer first. Maybe they'll play something we care about more for our puncturing blow to kill. Nope. They didn't. Hopefully no counterspell. Countervailing winds would be bad for me. That is not great. I guess I traded Synchronized Strike for Puncturing Blow. I'm gonna save it for when I can play both Heckmas in the same turn. Ooh, that is going to be a heck of a turn for me. Wow, we are in great shape here. Both at 15 life. This Feral Prowler is useless, as it always is. Uh-oh. Sphinx is a good one. Just gonna play my Heckmas. If they start attacking with the Sphinx, I can get some nice attacks in myself. Namely with Heckma. The power of Heckma. Ugh. Unfortunate. Oh, so unfortunate. I hope they don't have a Cycler. Wow, they blew that. They completely punted that one horribly. They could have responded to this trigger and made it 0 power, and I just discard 2 cards. Ugh. Yeah, but once I opt into it. Also, like, they don't have to even shrink these at all, because it wouldn't matter. This stupid Sphinx is a problem. If I attack with this, they attack me back with their flyers and I get owned. What the heck? Well, that's game. This is a new card for Amonkhet.
I've got them all figured out. Think fast.
Dang it. Their synchronized strike wrecked me. Yep. If I had been able to kill their 3/4 flyer, like, honestly, if I had just used my puncturing blow instead of playing my own Shimmer Scale Drake, I would have ended up in such better shape there. Because just getting my puncturing blow prevented made it so that I could never attack them, and that just, like, cost me the game probably. Welcome. We are on the draw. We have a pretty solid hand, though. Ah, red-white. Paincaster can kill the Pathmaker Initiate. It's a little bit slow and unreliable, though, so I still probably will trade. Also because they probably have a combat trick of some kind. With Kenra Scrapper, you pretty much want to exert it every time. Because if you use it every time to exert, then it means that like if they exert it now, and when I puncturing blow it, I'll have taken 2 extra damage. Gosh darn it. I'm so sad. I'm worried about Thresher Lizard being a 4/4, but I'm more worried about a menace creature. Magma Spray, so good. Please don't have a way to stop this. No! They can Magma Spray their own Thorned Moloch. That would be such a sick play. The sickest of plays. The plays! Yeah, Heckma's not really worth building around to the degree that I built around it here. This card's also like, you never want to block it. Oh, beautiful. Pew! Next turn, I think I'm going to hold this guy back to block this, and then get my cycle value. The cycle value, legendary. Ho 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 ho. We'll draw 2 cards. Oh. Well, ain't that peachy. Now we're just looking for lands. And now we will most definitely attack. Because we can kill this thing. In any number of ways. Oh, don't kill me now, please, no. No. Ah, the combo! Why? Why? Why couldn't I have drawn Open Fire a turn sooner? Oh, the pain! Ugh. The shame. The shame. This is a mulligan, I think. It's just so clunky. You need to draw a mountain super badly. Wow, this hand also sucks. Yikes. Yikers. Uh-oh. I'm like terrified of the black decks in the format. I'll cycle this. I'm in a spot where I have to play this slow. So I'm gonna make them exert. They missed a land drop. Time to punish. Pew pew. And Binding Mummy is going to be really irritating. Okay. A braid. Look at the difference between me and my opponent right now. Like, I mulliganed and like have drawn a bunch of lands. Do it. Got him! Hopefully. You never know. They could just have an impeccable timing or something. Dang it. Holding a mountain in case I draw a Tormented Voice. Whoa, blue card. Don't have Jaro's Resolve. Actually, Jaro's Resolve doesn't do it. Charge! Charge! No, you gotta say it. You gotta let chat know what's coming. I'm exerting because I figure they're going to block that one, yeah. Or I don't really want them to block that one. Yeah, I don't really control whether the sound's delayed. It's just part of my software, I think. Boom! We got the win somehow. I can't believe it. Holy heck. They just couldn't cast anything. They must have been a blue deck or something. I did make some changes to the deck. I cut some of my more expensive clunkers and added in my last Pathmaker Initiates. I'm gonna get a island with this, I think. I do not. My draft guide that I made for Dominaria wasn't super popular, and it was a lot of work. I like Amonkhet. Amonkhet's fun. Yeah, we'll get an island. Play the Initiate. I'm probably okay if the Initiate dies. Wow, 3 colors. I like it. Bold strategy. Wow, what the heck? They don't even gain the life. Play this guy. If we do want to ping something, we can play the Battlefield Scavenger first and then get a nice little loot in. Or we just hit them for 3. Totally also acceptable. Oh, poor sweet summer child. I could have played the Champion of Wits there. I think I'd rather just cycle the Desert Ceradon and, I don't know, save Champion of Wits for when I have a more clear situation here. I think I'm going to get rid of this desert, because I'm going to be discarding it anyway. That worked out. No, 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 Nikolai. Do this the right way. If they had a combat trick, they would have used it. Whew, Champion Wits is still safe in my hand. I'm chill trading a 2-1 for a 2-3. Next turn I can go Champion and Heckma. Just have to remember to ping them. We'll see what we want to do here. Take action for sure. Ooh, get rid of that and get rid of the Heckma Sentinels, I think. Then play Firebrand Archer. And the next turn we can Tormenting Voice away this and shoot something. Do 4 damage from these guys. Wow, the fact that they had to Compulsive Rest our Fervent Paincaster is insane. That might be too aggressive, but now I have this insurance policy for the late game. Which you love to see. You love to see it. Oh dear. Beautiful. Beautiful. Boom! Got the win. Thank you, Sis Comms. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Whew. Got the win. See you in the next draft. I mean, next round. Welcome to another round. I'm really liking how aggressive we made this one. We made some changes to the deck to make it more aggressive, and I think those changes have helped. Well, they don't actually help as many new players because they don't get as many views. So like, if the goal is to help players, then the one that gets more views will help more players. I'm just gonna play the Firebrand Archer. The background is pretty sweet. Yeah, I feel like it's too slow for my deck. My deck didn't end up being a more controlling version. That was one of the issues I had in my first couple rounds, is I built my deck as a hybrid deck instead of being like all on the control side or all on the aggro side, and I got punished for it. Oh, did they not exert that? My bad. I suck. I should have blocked. But it's not the end of the world. Combat trick me, I'm ready. I'm not just gonna let you hit me with your 3-1s, buddy. I don't think withholding information on your second color ever changes someone's plays, like ever. Like, if you're like it's a splash color, maybe it would, but I don't think it generally does. Okay, I'm feeling favored here because we have a card draw spell, so we're vastly ahead on resources now, and we have a cycling land, so we have an extra card compared to them. I am going back to school this semester, but it is going to be online. We're going to play this land. If we do draw Tormenting Voice, we probably can just cycle this and cast this. Punished. But I did want to have the land eventually for the Champion of Wits. I'm super disappointed that it's going to be online. Incredibly so. Wow, heck, my Sentinel's hitting for a casual 5. I only have 2 copies left in the deck after all the cuts I've made, but still does some sick things. Boom! Ever since I started changing my deck to be more aggressive, it worked a lot better. I think the deck needed some more tools if it was going to be controlling, like a couple Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs and things like that, and maybe a little bit better late game, but I'm really happy with how it is now. I realized it'd probably be helpful to show the changes I made to the deck. Basically, I cut a couple Heckmas, cut the Striped Riverwinder and Lay Claims. Enigma Drake's not in the deck. I don't think it ever was, though. And then I just added back in the Pathmaker Initiates. I just have a super low to the ground deck. I've got like 10 2-drops, spells. I've got pretty consistent mana here. I added the Gilded Ceradon. Just really happy with how this deck is looking. And yeah, I'll see you folks in the next round. Welcome to another round. This is a great hand. Easy keep. Oh yeah, what a draw. People get really irritated by the like horse breathing out like the. They're like, oh man, why do you do that? It's so irritating. I can't handle it. What the heck? Even though I don't want them to trade. Okay, they trade anyway. That's okay. I figured they wouldn't trade, but Paincaster is going to find targets, most likely. I'm so terrified of them having a Splendid Agony. I'm like low-key, like horrified. This is going to be so bad for me. It's more like a camel breath. Poor little Nikolai doesn't have a camel at home. I'm just gonna keep pinging. They seem too afraid of my pathmaker initiates. Ah! Oh, that card sucks. This card does nothing. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry, opponent. Hate to do it to you. They're splashing Bantu, eh? It's not gonna work the way they're hoping. Listen to how loud the sound effects are. It's crazy. Can't attack or block. Oh, they didn't time that one well. They did not time it well. Sure. Boom! Our deck is on a rampage! Absolutely incredible! Look at the surge! We've won like 4 in a row. Let's go. Hello! We have another round. Ah, they called Paulo Vitor to win the whole thing. That's how you get this trophy. Hello, Schmeeks. Lucky you moving into college. Feels good. It's gotta be hype. This new map is so cool. Some people get really bothered by this sand. And I'm a little bit sad that it bothers certain people. Like, I wish that was not a reason for people not to play. Because overall, this is super cool. You got this trophy by, like, there was like a world championship event where you had to, like, you could pick who you thought was going to win the whole thing. And if you picked the right winner, then you got the trophy. I went with my loyalty to Gabriel Nassif, so I picked him. And he still got, like, top 4, which was cool. Looks like opponent is, not doing much here. We do want to draw some creatures. We do have a lot of creatures in the deck. This is like most of our non-creature spells, so we're going to have to be hopeful that we draw some creatures here. Oh yeah, it wasn't like a play event. That's a fine draw. It is a fine draw. I did start recording, right? I did start recording. I feel like I need to lower the audio. That feels more in line with where I'd like to be. Magma Spray. We only have 1 threat, so trading is actually pretty bad for us. We're going to cycle this desert. We can't use it to cast Puncturing Blow anyway. Inefficient removal. Hashtag Magma Spray is not inefficient. The removal is actually quite solid. Okay. I will play that instead of nothing. Magma Spray is way better than Shock in this format. Like, significantly so. Ah! Cartouche of Zeal! We're screwed! We're finished! Ah! Aye! It kills, like, everything, and exiling is super relevant. They have to attack with the Hooded Brawler. Come on. They're trying to figure out whether or not to exert. They shouldn't exert. They should exert this guy, though. Oh, no, they don't have to exert that guy. Never mind. We'll make them exert their on-crop crasher to get through. Danger! Danger! Who's up for an adventure? Danger! Danger! Exert him. You know, yeah, you won't. Oh, you will. Okay. Give me a mountain deck. Oh, give me that sweet, sweet mountain. No! No! The sweet, sweet mountain. Feels bad, man. To lose, to sleep no more. For in that sleep what dreams may come. We're screwed. We needed a mountain. If we kill this Magmaroth, hit them for 4. Oh gosh, this card's a beating. "'Tis a beating," they said. Oh, do I have to just suck it up and take it? Next turn's a 3/3. We're so dead. We needed a mountain last turn. Without a mountain, this game is over. Ugh. We have to play this. Hope they whiff on their Vizier. Next turn, kill the Vizier. Whiff! Whiff opportunity! I suspect they have something that kills me here, but they have one card in hand. I could also just kill that guy. We accept that we're dead to their combat trick. Gosh darn it! Why? Why? Why have I been forsaken? If they had just had like a random creature, we could have actually still won that game. Untap, kill their Vizier. They have a 2/2 against my 4/4. Ugh, feels bad, man. Ah, gosh. Always look on the bright side of life. Well, this was actually a pretty sweet draft. We learned a lot about our deck over the course of it. Adding in all these extra 2-drops really did help, I think. Made the deck a lot more consistent and powerful. And overall, it was a pretty fun draft. I think I learned that Oasis Ritualist should not be prioritized as highly. That was definitely a big thing. Heckma Sentinels was not the truth. It's just too hard to build around a 3-drop like that. It's much better to just have all the 2-drops you can. But yeah, that was a fun draft. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section down below with any questions or feedback. Leave a hashtag switcheroo victories, because we did switch our deck up significantly to get those wins, and I do think it did make the deck a lot better. Remember to check out the Twitch stream live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. The Discord server is linked in the description and pinned comment. It's free to join for everybody. The Patreon is a great way to support my channel and give back and help me continue to produce high quality content. And you can also buy cards using my affiliate link. That is going to do it for this draft video, though. I do hope you enjoyed it. That is going to do it. Oh, I just said that. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you folks next time.